Good afternoon. The noise is coming from the fan. I hope it will not be too annoying. I will raise my voice to compensate for the noise. So, I want to speak about friendship. This video will be, the subject of the video will be friendship. And it's a direct follow-up for yesterday night's video on family, world family. But before I start speaking about friendship, I need to clarify something. And it's not going to be nice and not going to be optimistic, but it should be said. Yesterday, I took the opportunity to mention people in Ramat Aviv and Ramat Aviv Gimel, the neighborhoods in Tel Aviv where I grew, anonymous people or almost anonymous people that I remember from my childhood that because of their actions I was able to be raised like pretty much normally, and that's what and of course this directly affects my ability to actually speak with you today, to be with you today, but certainly to speak with you today. Some people interpreted this part of the video as a message of comfort. So no, it's not. It wasn't the intention. But I guess I should be like grateful and should thank God and praise humanity perhaps even, that some people even like take the trouble to actually interpret something as a message of comfort. Like you need to understand, in Israel, just people just they know that now I live here, so they just, never mind, it's a holiday, it's Shabbat, never mind, they just create noise in front of my window and shout at me, get out of here, what are you doing here, and the normal stuff. Treat me as an animal. So if someone interpreted my words as a message of comfort, it should say that they are relatively in a very high moral and cognitive ground to even like have the framework of interpretation that accept both guilt and punishment, and also seek comfort. But I don't have anything like positive to say, and the only thing that you should be happy about in the current situation is the fact that I am the messenger. But I'm not like the judge. No, there are some like prophecies that Jesus or other like God-like figures, return in the end of days and judge humanity. But I have no such capacity at all. It's very clear to me that the state of Israel is doomed, and it was doomed even before I was born, in the current incarnation. I cannot judge the world, and you should be happy. Grateful for that, because if I had to, I would judge my judgment would have been like catastrophic. And I've spoken about it like it's 2 years now that I speak on the subject, and nothing changes. It only became worse. And so this is no time to like present new arguments. If they rise, of course you need, truth is above all, but for me, for my own narrative and quest and mission, it's time for summary. So I will just repeat one critical point, not new at all, but an important point, or maybe I will present it in a new way, perhaps with a little more new style, just not to be completely boring for my loyal subscribers. But it is, it's the most critical point in regards to the question of why I am so angry, and why I hate the United States, and why I'm pessimistic about the whole world, not just Israel. So I should say that very concisely. I should say that starting the first half and more intensely the second half of the year 2019, I started the quest. I understood that I need to reevaluate everything about my life and my family history, and about all the people that surround me, and that no one will answer me, and no one will give me any valid answers. And this is still the case, and everyone will try to just put me in a mental asylum, which is still the case, and take my daughters from me, which is still the case. And it's going to be like me alone against everyone, and trying to discover the truth. The important truths about reality that were hidden from me, and also to construct my own worldview with regards to the new discoveries. It should be perhaps should be said that when in this context, when I say discoveries, I do not refer to scientific discoveries. This is something very new in my life. It wasn't even in my horizon up until the last couple of months or so. Discovery is about the nature of a society and of Israel and relationships with other species and the hidden politics that is facilitated by intelligence and organization around the world. This was very grim, and it's still grim. It's a very grim situation when you're so alone. You only have God, and you have to trust God. And I remember Rosh Hashanah of 2019. I remember I was alone in my house, detached from everyone, cut my relationships with my family and all friends, and I was in very bad state, mentally. I was like an oracle, like a crazy drugged oracle, even though I didn't take drugs at the time, and even almost didn't drink no alcohol at the time, but I was in a very excited state of mind, and I knew that that my only chance of not losing my mental health, not becoming a real psychopath or crazy person, and also to advance in my quest, is to trust my interpretation of the term logos, a very important term in the history of Christianity, and also I would say Platonic thought, with regards to the Greek philosopher Plato, or Platon in Hebrew. I understood that I need to trust the world. I need to remember all the time that words describe reality, and that reality is objective, and it's there, and people can, if they wish so, and they make the effort, they can understand reality, and they can create theories regarding reality which will be substantiated by facts. And I knew that everyone around me will try to gaslight me about everything. In this situation, it was always like that. That yes is no, and black is white, and war is peace, and it's like that all the time. I'm bombarded by disinformation by everyone around me, both people of that my friends, my relatives, everyone, of course, intelligence agents. And I must hold my differences against these attacks on human brain. And I should all remember that words have meaning, and if you come to a conclusion, you need to understand why. And a valid conclusion doesn't delete itself only by, as a side effect of bombardment of disinformation from the other side, which sees itself as someone which is in a state of conflict with you. The state of conflict, imaginable or not, does not change logos, does not change the world. This is incredibly important. It was incredibly important for me as an anchor, which allows me not to drift and to lose my mental health, and also to trust God that I will be able to understand reality, and I think that I've made remarkable steps. And again, I'm not referring to science now, but I mean to everything else that I discovered during the last, since 2019. And I've spoken about everything in various public and private stages, electronic stages. Why is that important? Everything that I discovered and everything that I said, I mean, the arguments that that were found to be valid and supported by facts, and I've spoken about it a lot. The trajectory of the words was always, I mean, very clear, and the trajectory is that Israel is already doomed because of their sins, and they are controlled by the devil, by Satan, and you cannot change the Israelis. It's impossible, and this place is doomed. And it's not the first. Everything, the trajectory of the words always pointed me to understand that this is not the first episode of this epic, the Star Wars, as you call it, epic, the Titans epic, and that much was already done, like in the last and in previous chapters. And of course, one thing that stays the same is the nature of the Israelis, which is the most barbaric and monstrous. And I understood very clearly that logic and the meaning of words and semantics and thought all direct me to understand that now is the time to judge the world. Can they stop the Israeli terror as they should have done like long ago, or do they continue like they've done before, cooperate with this evil for whatever reasons? Maybe they just don't care, maybe they seek, maybe they it's part of like a egotistical anti-crusade against God, and maybe it's just it's for like material reasons, or maybe for sexual reasons, which are also material. But for any, the reasons might be different. But the question is, do they stop the Israelis, or is humanity just a predator species which is dangerous for all sentient creatures in this universe? In the end, and I knew that once the calamities start, or better say continues, because I understood that there were already calamities on the earth, that was kept silent in the 20th century with regards to the Titanic genocide and abuse and enslavement. And I understood that when the calamities, the purges, the curses will strike with all their mighty power, it's going to be too late for everyone to actually do anything, because okay, I don't want to get into it. You can understand by yourself, and I also spoken about it at length in the past. But that's the way it is. You need to change before the calamities hits you with all their might, because after that it's only the rule of violence. And people didn't want to change at all. And I understood that people in this world, in intelligence communities of this world, certainly the strong ones, know about me and follow me, and even they created contact with me, and it was a lasting contact until now. But they didn't change. Nothing substantial wasn't changed in their behavior, and Israel kept doing their thing. Even though, as I said many times, Israel is a parasitic state, it depends on other nations for everything. It's not an independent state, and it's never were an independent state, and many strong nations could just stop the existence of Israel, but they didn't do it. And logos, the word, the meaning of words, and logic, and human thought, human morals, and the divine morality, which is imbued in every thinking person, all dictates that humanity failed in its miserably failed in what perhaps the most important, I should say, test, even though it wasn't a test in the way that, I mean, it was artificially created as a test. I mean, your technology now is in direct path to interplanetary travel, and you're going to meet new species. You've already met one species and then another one, and I mean, I'm the second one, the Cubes, and you've already met the Titans, and I mean, you're doing your thing, which is to cannibalize on them and to abuse them in the most horrible ways, and you're not changing, and this cannot continue. Such a predatory species cannot be allowed to contain to hold technology which will enable it to just destroy other sentient species and abuse them in the most horrible ways. And that's what you're going to do. Like, I'm 100% certain about it. So yes, the world is, from my point of view, has failed, and humanity failed, and it should be replaced, or at least upgraded. Okay, so the next video will be on the subject of friendship. I will create actually a separate video, so it won't be too long. So in a minute I will start a new video.